Morning. Today is Tuesday, May 17th. My name is Eric Tammy. I'm with Junction Networks and OnSIP.com. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Grandstream Complete HD Video Conference System, and that consists of the GVC3200 video conferencing solution as well as the GAC2500 Android-based conference phone. So let's get to it. So first we can see straight away that we've got, maybe you can't quite see there. Well, we've got, there we go, the GAC2500 right here in its own little box. And it looks like the GVC3200 is not self-contained, but on all this foam packing. So let's unpack that first, and then we'll get to the GAC. Comes with its own remote. Looks like it has a little touchpad on here. We'll take a look at that in a little more detail. Appears to be a mounting bracket of some sort. I guess you wall mount the whole system, and then that's the base where it would sit on, or vice versa. I'm not sure which. I think that's the right way. Ah, that way. And the GVC itself, let's see if we can get this out here. So you can see the unit here. It looks like, yeah, that's the front. It's got full pan tilt zoom. Pretty big optical lens there. Very small little display screen here. Let's take a look at the back. So we have one HDMI input for things like screen sharing, and 3 HDMI outputs, so you can actually have 3 different televisions or projectors plugged in at the same time. Has USB for speaker, and the GAC2500 in here can be used as a USB speakerphone, obviously in concert with the GVC3200, but also standalone if you wanted to use it as a speakerphone for a soft phone on your laptop or something like that. LAN and DC 12 volts in, reset button, VGA, I assume that's in, and an SD card slot, full-size SD card slot for what I can assume is recording. So we'll put that aside here, see what else is in this box. Okay, it looks like we've got all sorts of cables. As per the usual, we've got our GNU public license in here, manual, little cleaning cloth. So this appears to be a USB extender cable. HDMI cable. This is 3-prong power. I can only seem to power a brick in here since that DC 12 volts in. Yep, and here's the power brick itself with that 12 volt pin output. Mounting hardware for the bracket, should you choose to wall mount it. Another HDMI cable. Small LAN cable. And 2 more, what appear to be very long HDMI cables. So it's nice that they seem to give you the full complement of cables that you'll need for this right in the box, and some AA or AAA batteries for the remote. So I'm going to put all these cables back in here, and we'll take a look at the GVC3200 itself, the remote, and a quick look at the GAC2500. Back in there, and our bracket there as well. So let's take a quick look at the GAC2500 conference phone. So this is an Android-based conference phone. Both these devices are actually Android-based. They run Android 4.4. They are compatible with Google Play, so you can install things if you want to, like Skype or Gmail or whatever, on whatever. Most likely going to be using connectivity communications applications rather than sending email from your conference phone. But I've actually used this speakerphone before as part of the Grandstream beta program, and I was quite happy with it. It's got good sound. It's pretty sleek as far as its design. So you can see here, the device is relatively thin. Has a nice screen. I think it's a 4-inch touch screen here. I've actually opened one of these up. There are 3 different microphone pickups, I believe, sort of in a triangle pattern around the device. The speaker's centrally mounted, and it sits on rubber grommets to help dampen any vibration pickup from the device itself. Not a whole lot on the bottom. There's a reset button there. And then you've got a LAN port. Oops, sorry, a LAN port. And then this is actually a daisy chaining port. You can chain these devices together if you have a particularly large conference room and you want to have good pickup around the space. And they've got built-in DSPs so that one of them will be a slave of the other, so that you won't get echo and feedback and things like that. I'm not going to open up the rest of this. There's not a whole lot left in the GAC to show. It's just got a power adapter in here that goes right over there. But otherwise, it's a nice conference phone, and it gives you a lot of flexibility because it is Android-based and it has Bluetooth pairing capabilities, USB speakerphone capabilities, as I mentioned previously. So I was actually curious how they were going to pair it with the GVC3200. And I initially had been concerned that it was going to be Bluetooth. Bluetooth does not provide the full range of audio quality that this device is certainly capable of, so I'm happy to see that it's actually a USB pairing instead. So we'll put that right back in here. Okay. Let's take a look at this remote here quickly. I should also note that there is a Android app. There might be an iOS app, I think, as well, available to control the GVC3200 so that you don't actually need this remote. I've seen screenshots of it. I haven't used it myself, but I will as part of the review process for this device. But you can see here it's got a little touchpad on it, and it has the 3 sort of standard icons for Android devices pre 5.0, I guess. Home, menu, and back. It's got zoom and speakerphone volume here. It's got a camera icon here. I imagine that's for switching camera or input sources between the camera and the HDMI or VGA input. Mute. This is a, or perhaps that's what this is. It looks like a presentation play button. So perhaps this button or this remote can also integrate with like a laptop and act as a presentation remote for advancing slides. That'd be a pretty sort of neat feature. And then all of your standard kind of telephone type input buttons, DTMF pad, along with some extra buttons here. It looks like a recording button. I'm not sure why there's a question mark hashtag button there. The remote's about the size of a smartphone, a little bit thicker though. Feels a little plasticky, but you know, in general, pretty good. This touchpad is an interesting feature. It also has a clicker that appears on there. Let's take one last look at the GVC3200 itself before we wrap things up. So again, this device is actually a little bit larger than I anticipated, but it's pretty compact, all things considered. This has a built-in 9-way video MCU, so you can have a 9-way video call conference just with this device. That's pretty impressive as far as I'm concerned, because I've seen conferencing systems in the past where you'd have a whole separate box that was the size of this, you know, carton in dimensions to do things as simple as a 4-way video conference. So that's a really powerful feature right there. I'm not sure what the optical zoom is on here. Let me see if I can take a look at the data sheet. It doesn't seem to say right away. Oh, actually it does. It's a 12 times optical zoom. So that's pretty impressive as well. I'll have to take a look at that as part of the review. That's quite a bit of zoom. And this is actually the portion of the camera, or the portion of the device that I thought was going to be smaller. It's much larger in diameter than I anticipated. This is probably nearly 2.5 inches sort of in diameter, maybe 5 inches, 6 inches long. So, just a quick rundown of the specs for this then. Obviously SIP-based device, and it works really well with OnSIP in the sense that we only relay our media, so we can do any type of video or audio codec that endpoints will support. So having a 9-way video conference that is doing Opus and H.264 is something that you can absolutely do on the OnSIP platform. Has Bluetooth built in so that you can pair it with microphones, keyboards, any other Bluetooth device. 3 HDMI outputs, as I said. It's 1080p device. It's doing full 1080p. 12x optical zoom, like I said. Dual band Wi-Fi, so it has 5 and 2 gigahertz Wi-Fi built in. That's pretty impressive as well. As I said, a 9-way video MCU, including the ability to integrate screen sharing for presentations and swapping between the video and the screen share feed. And I've seen that. I haven't done it myself, but I've seen that in a demo, and it seems pretty nice. The pan-tilt zoom is not only controllable at the local side, but also from the remote end. I'm curious to see how that actually works out, but that's an interesting feature. It has built-in call recording, including video, and it has scheduling so that it can schedule conferences. I've seen this on the GAC2500, where it basically has a web page that has an interface to add conference attendees and set up a schedule, and the device will actually send out invites a scheduled amount of time before the conference starts, and it can automatically call different people. So if you have a regular recurring call, you can have that automatically scheduled in the GVC. Codecs, it's a G722, G711, Opus, iLibC apparently is pending. Several variations of G722, 722.1, 722.1C, H.264, video up to 4 megabits per second, which seems like it should be more than enough as far as bandwidth for video capacity. Supports BFCP, which is binary floor control protocol. It's something you see often in video conferencing devices for controlling who's on mute, who's speaking, etc. says it has dual band or dual stream BFCP. Says it can do bridging between SIP and Skype or Google Hangouts. I'm not sure that's something I'll be testing. I'm probably going to be focusing more on the SIP side of things. And that's pretty much it, I think. It's a very interesting device. Thank you to Grandstream for sending us this unit to review. I think it'll be a very interesting piece of hardware. There's not a lot in the market space that has this many features, so we'll see how it tests. Thanks.